When I started 2 years ago after doing this whole journey around the country to find out what's the purpose in life, what is Russ supposed to be doing here? Made the money, done that, got that, okay? Family raised, got that, good kids, good family, all fine. Good health, probably in the best physical shape I've been in my life, 32, yeah. Strong, eating good, you know what I mean? I'm doing all the right stuff, you know what I mean? Feel great. What's the purpose? You know, what's my point? And I kind of think I was too young to retire. But after going through this, crap I went through in this industry, you know what I mean? People are there's always negative. If I didn't have big shoulders, I wouldn't even be here because the internet and the naysayers and negative. You know, most of the complainers and the whiners on the internet are non-buyers. They're people who've never come to an event, never come to one of our trainings, or can't afford or want to and can't afford it. Well, I'm sorry about that. I can't do anything about that. You don't see that generally from the people who take the trainings and go out and do what they're supposed to do, you know. So anyway, here's what happens with me. I got my toe into the business, and I got involved in some infomercial stuff because I'm experienced at that. Along with right now, I'm not so much in a buy mode today, folks. I'm in a sell mode, okay? And we go through those cycles as investors. Sometimes it's time to buy, sometimes it's time to sell. I am in the midst right now, and Kent's going to talk about this, as is Neil later on. We are in the midst of putting first-time home buyer programs together. We're going to probably do that nationally. There's a huge amount of money to be made there. When I was telling you about Neil, just what they would do is buy existing properties, run down, beat up shape in foreclosure. And then what they did is they had a pick your own color. In other words, if you're a first-time home buyer, you can come to this house, you pick your colors. We had choice of cabinets, choice of counters, et cetera, so you can have a custom-used home. And then we qualify you for first-time home buyer, grants for the down payment, so no down payment. So in other words, we do the work to get the people the money, to get them financed. They can get state housing grants, et cetera, which Neil's going to talk to you about. Costs them nothing. We put on a little seminar like this. There's first-time home buyers all over the place who don't know they can get into houses for free right now. And we get them the finance, and our money is in that cosmetic difference. We go do all the cosmetics, buying it cheap, do the cosmetics, create the value in the improvements. So we don't hope it goes up. We find the buyers first. Now, you may or may not know this, but for 20 years, I own a part owner in a construction company. From 2000 to 2007, our construction company did $700 million in business, $700 million. I was building anywhere from 500 to 700 new construction homes a year here. And I've been doing that for 20 years, and many of our students have been involved in those and have made tons of money. A bunch of us got caught in the downturn. In other words, everybody started to overbuild in this area, which is caught up in new construction. Downturn, you know what I mean? So now it's time to settle that down and go to first-time home buyers, not necessarily new construction, with existing properties. It's a new cycle, new niche. We're going to teach you about that while you're here as well. Anyway, so go back to what am I doing here, folks? That was part of the. What am I supposed to do now? I've been, and I'm looking, what's the big plan for us? I know God's got a plan, What's the plan? And after being in the training business 30 years, okay, and in the real estate business, what do I do now? Go do landscaping? Become a painter, buy 7-Elevens? What? I mean, if I'm thinking right and I'm in touch with this inner voice, which we're going to talk about in the evening in these elective sessions, a whole new way to look at life, a whole new way to get a different confidence and a different surety of what it is we're supposed to be doing. What I realized is over the last 30 years, millions, just from 2000 to 2006, over 3.5 million people came through my training events in England, Ireland, Canada, Scotland, where the hell else were we? Scotland, Ireland, England, Spain, 7 countries. And we've touched a lot of people, and there's a lot of people who've come through not knowing anything about real estate, but took the training that you're going to get here and went on to build other businesses, bigger businesses. So when people come to these trainings, let me just tell you, some go off and do it in real estate, but I'm going to tell you, many might go out and buy 3, 4, 5 properties. They learn, we teach them about P&L. We teach them how to think, okay? We teach them how to negotiate. We give them a little confidence. They do a couple of deals and realize, I could do this. Then many get in touch with their passion. Virgil Clunder, if we can get a hold of him, lives right here in town. He was 23 years old when he came to a session like you guys are. He had bought 2 properties, used a Title I loan, and made some money out of home improvement money. And then what happened is he saw the whole, the whole deal of the books and tapes. Well, you know what is, he was 23, had a heart problem, but he was with adopted parents. So he had to find his birth parents to get the medical records, of him. And he found it very hard, getting birth parents. You've seen that, anybody ever seen The Locator on TV where they bring moms and kids back together when they've been estranged? Okay, well that's Virgil and Troy Dunn, a guy named Troy Dunn is the locator. Both of them not only came through here, but worked for us. And he went out and he wrote a book on how to do that, got into the public libraries. It says they did a 20,000 order for him. And what happened is people were stealing the book. So the library had to keep ordering them, like 20,000 a whack. And then he got on Oprah. He's probably been on Oprah and all the talk shows, about this is, 10 years ago. He's on all the talk shows. And he built a huge business. Universal bought it out for $50 million when he was 34 years old. Brian Hogg, you're going to meet Brian Hogg, who's a partner in our construction business, going to talk to you about rehabbing. Built a $600, $700 million business after coming through this training. And it goes on and on and on and on from there. So in other words, we're going to open the mind in the evening time is the time for we open the mind and start to think that this isn't just about how do I buy a rundown duplex, in a moderate income area. Or how do I syndicate, property or find private money? It's about how do I think? How do I get in touch of what's the plan for me? See, a lot of people come through, and this, you've probably heard this. Some people come through a training like this for a reason. Some people come for a season, some for a lifetime. Does that make sense? Like Stu. Stu stayed on, built his business in multiple units and mobile homes. And, he deals in a lot of low, moderate income, although he's got, commercial warehouses and stuff. I elected to get out of that. So I built, Larry was a manager of hundreds. I had hundreds of low, moderate income units in this town. I had rooming facilities, all kinds of stuff. And then I eventually sold them. I used them because I needed cash flow, okay? So no cash flow. So I had a positive cash flow coming in, so I didn't have to have a job, okay? So we got to find a way to get cash flow coming in, either taking our money and we make it in a business or cash flow strategy of some sort, and then we park it in real estate. Does that make sense to you? But cash flow real estate. So we're going to talk a lot about that as well. But I elected to sell those off, and then I moved into nicer properties. Now, in the nicer properties, remember, I'm going to put more equity in those. You're not going to be buying a lot of those for low and no money down. I put more equity in them. I don't get as much cash flow, but the appreciation was better.